the bills won't fly.
I have a question for you. Is the real bill process, the dynamic, really part of establishing a credit system and clearing system that has no inflationary function but prevents inflation? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes. Yes, this is the bone of contention between various schools of thought which advocate a return to the gold standard. One school says that real bills are inflationary, and the school which I represent says, and this is, I am proud to mention the name of Adam Smith, which has impeccable credentials. Adam Smith was a great economist, and the world owes a great debt to him. So the school which I represent says that this is nonsense. The real bills are not inflationary because the real bills emerge together with the merchandise as it is moving from the producer to the consumer. And at the moment the consumer removes the merchandise from the market, the real bill disappears. It expires. It's paid and disappears as money. So in other words, if you call it paper circulation, the real bill circulation, fine, that's what it is, but it is ephemeral. It is only temporary because it flows and ebbs together with the flow and ebb of the merchandise. Whereas ordinarily when you talk about inflation, you talk about paper money being pumped into the economy, but it's always there and it can be added to, but hardly ever reduce the volume of paper money. So that's a big difference, and that's why the real bill circulation is the ideal way of financing trade. We say that this is self-liquidating credit, which the real bill represents. The credit arises if the need is there for the new merchandise, but it's liquidated by the consumer who picks up the merchandise at the market and uses it in final consumption.
Would it be correct to say that the real bill functions as a form of monetary value in exchange, and that it is an instrument of money? At the way it's functioning, in its dynamic, it is a form of money at that point, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You can say that. But it's extremely flexible, and it corresponds to the needs of the consumer. It's not rigid. All those rigidities which you have in the usual paper money system are absent from this. For instance, if the producer makes a mistake in trying to finance a certain type of product by issuing bills, this will become clear very, very quickly, because what it will mean is that the bill market will not pick up that real bill so readily, or they will try to discount it more, and this is a signal that there is a mistake. So the mistake can be corrected right away. Under bank financing, if the production is financed with bank loans, the mistake may not be corrected until it causes much more damage to not just the producer, but also to the whole economy.
What is it that allows the real bill to function that way earlier?
Well, it's far more transparent. You see, the real bill is an open document. It's a public document, and everybody can inspect it and check it. The real bill on its face will list not only the amount which is payable at maturity, but it will specify what kind of merchandise is being paid for in that real bill. And if it's, for example, in the bottom of a boat, which is shipping the merchandise from one continent to another, then this fact is also mentioned on the face of the real bill, and in that case, insurance documents will have to be attached to the real bills to make sure that if the boat goes down and the merchandise is lost, then the issuer of the bill will be compensated. So in other words, this is transparency for you. You can inspect the circumstances, and from the volume of these bills of a certain type, the participants in the bill market can make a judgment. Is it true that just as much bills are issued as merchandise is expected to be consumed during that period? If there is more, then there will be a reluctance to buy these bills. And therefore, this reaction is almost instantaneous. Now, compare it with the bank financing of production and distribution of goods. The bank makes the merchant sign a note, okay, and pays the money over to the merchant, and then puts the note in its portfolio and it's buried there. It's not a public document by any means. You couldn't go to the bank and say, hey, show me your portfolio. They will laugh at you and will politely ask you to leave the premises. So the public is in no position to make a determination whether this merchandise is really in demand. It could be that the merchandise is actually sitting in a warehouse. For instance, if the merchandise is wheat to be sold internationally, if it's not moving, if it's sitting in an elevator, it's not eligible for real bill financing because, as I said earlier, the merchandise has to be on the go. It has to move. It has to be a dynamic movement. Whereas if the bank and the merchant conspire, they could just issue bills for merchandise which is not on the move, which is sitting, because, for example, the owner of the wheat is expecting prices to go higher, and he's speculating on that. There's nothing wrong with speculation as such, but the problem is you have to use your own money to speculate. You cannot use a public facility such as the real bill market to do that speculation. and therefore this would be inflationary. And the real